The earliest patriarch of this family that we know is called Ojianu. He had 4 sons, all brothers, of which the eldest is called Akinwale and the youngest is called Moronkola Akande. They also have a sister called Efuntola or Shogotokun. One problem with this family was inability to have male children. Among all the 4 brothers, none could give birth to male sons, and those who did lost the children in infancy. They had only daughters.
Ẹ kú oríire, ìyàwó rẹ bímọ.
Olúwa mà ṣe ń wo adúpẹ́.
Akọ àbábo.
Abo.
Àkànbí.
Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi.
Kí ló dé?
Ìyàwó mi obìnrin àkọ́kọ́, ó bóbìnrin ẹ̀kejì, obìnrin ìyàwó mi bí.
Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n ní ìṣọmọ́nù?
Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, ẹ máa lọ yín ojú rẹ̀.
Wọ́n bí báyìí, yóò mọ́ ní wọ́n bí báyìí, yóò ní yọjú sí ìyàwó rẹ̀.
Ẹ bá lọ yọjú rẹ̀.
Ìyá àgbẹ̀bí, ẹ mọ́ bínú, ẹ jẹ́ ìyọjú sọ́mọ.
Moronkola Akande had 6 wives, all in an attempt to have a male son, but to no avail. Neither could his brothers produce male children. If a man is unable to get a son or child, it is because he is yet to meet the right woman. And if a woman is unable to get pregnant, it is not because she is really barren, but because she is yet to sleep with the appropriate man. The appropriate woman finally came, and she was by name Oyemomi, a widow who was betrothed to Akande after the death of her husband, as was the custom in those days. She was the youngest among Akande's wives. The union of Miriam Oyemomi and Moronkola Akande would produce Samson Oladeji Akande, the first male son, and break the curse of malelessness. If there is nothing like that in English, but pardon my grammar. In Ikuda Isi family compound, and as subsequent events would show, this opened the door of good things not only for the house but for the whole town. It was in this very family that Samson Oladeji Akande was born, the only son of his mother and father. The year of his birth has been given as 1896, although this is difficult to confirm or deny, since there was no birth registry in Ede in that year where an investigation or confirmation could be made. If this is true, then that means he was older than Joseph Babalola and even David Babajide. Certain peculiarities surrounded this family, especially the extended family. Due to Yoruba custom, Oladeji Akande was given to his biological father, eldest brother, as son, since his own father was the youngest, and his elder brothers had no son. It was a taboo for the younger to be a father, when his elder were not. Thus, as a mark of respect, Oladeji Akande was donated to his uncle Akinwale and his sister Efuntola to become their child and not to his biological parents. Though he knew it was his surrogate father and mother that he served when he grew up. The envy that a younger brother, the least in the family, was the one who had the male son was one of the factors which would provoke enemy action that would complicate the destiny of Samson Akande, as we shall see shortly.
Ọ̀rẹ́ mi, mo ti bá yín wo àkọsẹ̀jáyé ọmọ. Àmọ́ èyí tí mo rí ọlágbára. Mo rí eégún ńlá kan lẹ́yìn ọmọ yìí. Wá gbọ́ o, tí o bá rí eégún ńlá yìí, yóò ní ọ̀pọ̀ èrò lẹ́yìn. Débi pé kò sí ìlú tàbí ìletò tó bá dé, wọ́n mọ̀ dá owó fún báyìí. Èyí wá túmọ̀ sí pé olókìkí ọmọ ni.
Usually, when a child is born in Yoruba land in the earliest time, that in the earliest time, the Ifa oracle is consulted to find out what kind of child this would be, his vocation and assignment, and his purpose in the family. This was done for Akande, and the oracle's verses given concerning him was that he would have a masquerade that goes from town to another, and people will be contributing money for him. This is what the Ifa priest saw. All anyone sees, even the best prophets, is part darkly. It is only God who sees through. Even the devil doesn't see anything about the future except roughly. Could the Ifa priest have seen a traveling evangelist and an offering time, which he tried to translate to what people's understanding of the time could accommodate? At any rate, this rough information, already in the position of envious household forces, steered them to work in order to prevent that glory from manifesting. The prospect of a son who would one day be on display from town to town and people coming to watch him already was enough source of disquiet or envy and discomfort to evil forces in the house, and they resolved to act to hinder that glory. Their attack mode was the attack of the industrious young man and the destruction of his site. Samson Akande had two fathers, his biological father and his surrogate father and uncle Akiwale. This was why even to his old age, whenever dramas were greeting him, they had the sayings through their drums, Oladeji Akande Omo Akinwale, Oladeji Akande sons of Akinwale. They recognize this historical attachment. Thus, Samson Akande would go to the farm with his attached father and labor in his farm. He would also bring things from the farm, vegetable, fruit, etc. to sell for his foster mother, Efuntola. His own biological father and mother had no say. Whosoever, because they were very junior members of the clan. His father being the youngest and his mother being the most junior wife in the family. This was Yoruba culture at work in its classical form. As Samson Akande grew older, he began to understand the realities and the settings as he became aware of himself and moved towards adulthood. He too began to provide for himself and think about his future. As long as he served his foster parent, there was no problem. The trouble began just when he too wanted to get liberty and be free. Then one day, Akande went to the farm as usual to serve his father, Akinwale. He also did not forget that his big mommy, Efuntola, was at home. He took enough vegetables and assorted things to sell for her. But after selling the items, he saw something he needed and he took part of the money to procure it. That was the greatest mistake he ever committed.
Ṣé mọ̀ pé ìgbéyàwó mi ń bọ̀ lọ́nà? Mo wá ní bí mo ṣe ta ọjà tán lọ́jà, mo wá wò pé mo rí àwọn nǹkan tó yóò ṣe mí láǹfààní pé tó bá tún wáyá pé ayé tí wọ́n wá sáré bá máa tún máa lọ ràyún kákàkiri mo bóyá fi yọ ṣé ní ilẹ̀ sọmọ wò ṣéǹjì díẹ̀ péré náà mo péréte náà mo yọ ń bẹ̀.
Sàlámì,
ìyá mi.
ṣé ń wà á pé kí ló dé tó o fi yọ ni? Ọjà tá à ń wíwùn náà ìwọ ló roko rẹ̀, ìwọ ló gbìn, ìwọ náà ló sì lọ ká, ìwọ ló tún kó lọ́jà lọ́ta.
Ẹ tí bá tẹ̀ wá ṣe pé mo tẹ̀ wá sí ohun mi pé kí n yọ ń bẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n bí mo ti wá àǹfààní dẹ̀ lè yóò jẹ́ o ló jẹ́ kí n sáré.
Sàlámì, inú rẹ̀ ó dùn sórí bí wọ́n ti ń palẹ̀ ń mọ́ làwa náà ń bẹ ẹ pa á mọ́.
Ó jẹ́rìí.
Sàlámì, ó ṣé o bàbá mi, ojú òní tiẹ̀ o.
But even at that point, it would have been better if he had kept quiet. He did not. Being a honest person and immature, he confessed to his mother as soon as he got home that he had spent a part of the money. Efuntola did not say anything, but she was not pleased with that single slight from the teenager, now she had gotten the excuse she needed to punish the boy and ruin his life completely. She had now invoked a psychic curse on the little boy. She can now invoke a psychic curse on the little boy, since by his disobedience he had furnished her a legal ground or cosmic right, as the occultic expert would say, to strike him. His days were numbered from that day. Only one thing was in Samson Akande's mind in the winter of 1935, his wedding to a sweet damsel. He was looking forward to the day of his freedom from the extended family pressure and of the opportunity of building his own family and working for himself. His soul yearned for freedom and liberty and longingly awaited it. His heart dreamed of glory and honor, for in those days, a man is not considered a real man, no matter his age, until he can legitimately take proper care of a woman and of her expected children. Everything was set, everything was in order. But as he planned, so the enemy planned with him, or planned against him, rather. Their 0 hour too was nearing. Their D-Day when they would strike against the young man. Just 2 weeks to the wedding, actually it was 13 days to the wedding. He remembered he needed something from the farm. He had to go because once that week passed, he would not be chanced again due to the ceremonies. He needed to get some palm wine, which would be useful in the ceremony. He was accompanied by one of his friends. They set forth into the farm. Unknown to him, it would be the last time he would see his father, mother, their family houses, and even the town of Ede with his physical eyes. They got to the farm and set to work. Then suddenly, as he was trying to take something, he observed something from the palm tree, and it entered one of his eyes. He tried to remove it, but to no avail. Before long, it was unbearable. His friend suggested that they should return home immediately, and they did. He came with his own faculty, but now he had to return through the guidance of another person. They got home and the elders waded into the matter. They recognized immediately this could not be ordinary. The higher power must have entered into this, for it was not ordinary. They must act and act immediately before help would be too late. There was a herbalist in the area who was very good in the business. He was also the herbalist of the family. The same way you have a family doctor now. The family approached him immediately for help. However, and this is very unfortunate, before the family could reach him, the evil forces responsible for the attack had already reached the herbalist to warn him not to help the young man. For after all, awu, which means cultists must stand by cultists in battle. Rather, they instructed him to apply poison instead of medicine and wipe out the second eyes, which was still good, so that it becomes total blindness.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ní ìlú gangan ni màá lù bàbá. ẹ ṣe gan ẹ ṣe bàbá. bàbá nǹkan ti ṣẹlẹ̀.
kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀.
ṣáṣe sùúrù wọ́n mọ́ lọ.
ẹ ṣe bàbá.
ló ṣe bí olóò.
máa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ní ìlú ẹ ṣe bàbá.
Sàlámì ni ó lọ sí oko wọn bá gbé wá pé ojú ẹ̀ ti fọ́.
Sàlámì ṣe sùúrù ṣé ṣe ń ju ọ lẹ́nu ni.
ìjọ mi lẹ́nu ó ti ká mi lára.
Sàlámì lọ oko ń bò máa dóko ọ̀hún ojú rẹ̀ kan fọ́. kàyéfì ńlá rèé o ìwọ mọ́ lọ wọ́n kàn yín lára nísinsìnyí mọ́ lọ.
ẹ má pẹ́ o.
Sàlámì ẹni lọ oko ojú rẹ̀ fọ́.
When Akande was taken to the herbalist, he was not actually meeting his physician to help him, but an agent of his enemies to complete what they have started. Thus, when Akande came, rather than to apply a curative medicine to the eye and remove the poison inside, he applied a poison to compound already bad situation. Thus, not only did he refuse to cure the impaired eye, but the other good eye was actually and equally destroyed. He was now totally blind. For a blind man, everything is darkness. There is no morning or evening, day or night. Everything is night, total darkness. This was the situation that Samson Oladeji Akande would have to endure, not for a day or two, but throughout his lifetime, 13 days to his wedding day. The evil forces had done their worst. They had scored their first major goal. But the story is not over yet, and the struggle between light and darkness has only just begun. They had their first laugh, but the laugh is not what matters, but the last laugh. Even in the years ahead, would show which side would have the last laugh. But for Akande, the struggle had just begun. Please, my viewers, I want you to watch out for episode 2. A very, very interesting and explosive episode. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please, I implore you to quickly do so, because if you did not subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will not be able to watch the episode 2. Immediately you subscribe, you will be notified anytime we upload the episode 2. God bless you.